Hello everyone, good evening. Welcome again to another live session. So, how was the day? My day was a little hectic, but I hope you are having a good day. We had a good day today. Um, yeah, just say hi if you can hear me and if you can see me. Somehow I can't see the chat. Yeah, I'm just gonna pop out the chat. Maybe. Yeah. Hi. Hi Masood. Hi Mahesh. Hi Dinesh. Match is not good. I expected at least, yeah. England also is losing wickets. Root is gone. So I hope we can get. I think this is last over. Probably tomorrow morning again. We can get some wickets. But yeah, let's see. Hey, Vijay. Hi, Drumad. Hi, Akshay. Hi, Naresh. Hi, Jake. Hello. Yeah, a lot of good comments today, at least on Twitter. I've seen at least a couple of good comments. I'm really happy. I'm not able to post on much on Twitter because of my office schedule. It's just been too busy and hectic. But I think I will come back on Twitter and be active more on Twitter soon. But in case you're looking for stock ideas, then this is a session that you have to look forward to because we discuss a lot of stock ideas which people ask questions about. And I hope you're enjoying that as well. And how was the portfolio today? So if your portfolio was good, I'm really happy. But if it's not, then probably you should go back and check what is the mistake that you're doing. So if your portfolio especially is not been moving since the last few days, then probably you're on the wrong set of stocks, right? You should be at least been up, probably a few percentage points, at least 3-4% since we recovered from the bottom. And if it's still not up, then you have to really question your stock selection, right? So but otherwise I think our trade with Trendline investor portfolio was up today, primarily led by Cummins India, and we did speak about this yesterday, and we said we have kind of moved above a particular resistance point, and yeah, we did have a decent 3% move today. Fortis is kind of lagging, otherwise LXCHEM is still continuing its high. It kind of did not have a good candle today. We'll look at that shortly. And TATALXSI also gave a very good move in the last 15-20 minutes or last 1 hour. But otherwise, Nifty also had a good move. Naresh says today was one of the best days. Really happy to know. I hope you continue trading well. Hi Sandeep. Hi Rishi. So yeah, so keep doing your. It all depends on the stocks, right? Some days your portfolio moves, some days your portfolio doesn't move. When we started off this trade with Trendline Investor series, we initially kept hitting stop losses. We kept hitting, I think every stop loss of us hit. And I still remember the few people who were saying, keep continuing, don't get disheartened and all that. But yeah, that was a streak of stop losses. And if you see still some of our exits, we have not come above the exit price, right? So for example, here we are somewhat above, but Shakti Pump has still not come to our price. Hindustan Zinc has still not come to our price. Only Jubilee Ingredient is the only one which has gone above our exit price, and a few other stocks. But otherwise, if this is your kind of your exit rate, and if you're still able to exit those stocks and move on to other stocks, it's totally fine. You're just doing totally fine, and there's still no reason for you to worry. So even Gland, if you see we exited 4132, it's still not come above that price, while our portfolio has been really up. So it is important to get out of the stocks. Even BirlaSoft, it's been 2-3 days since we exited. We added Cummins, and remember Cummins has gone up, but BirlaSoft hasn't gone up. Now the reason is this was the only stock in our portfolio which had loss on that day and wasn't moving up, while all other stocks kept moving higher. That's the only reason we kicked out. So the markets ideally should tell you which stock should move out and which stock should be in, right? You should not be deciding that, and that's one of the primary problems that most of us have. And so even if you take an entry, the markets kind of kick you out, and probably one or two would go wrong if you've been practicing that for quite some time, like a Jubilee Ingria or probably a Gufik Bio. But otherwise, it's been more than a month, right? Since this is July, we've crossed August, we are almost in September now. But if you see, most of our stock exits have been almost good, right? And we did make some losses, and we've covered up all those in the last couple of weeks. So yes, our portfolio has been doing well, and that's the only key to trading well in markets, especially if you're a swinger positional trader. If you're an investor, then probably you have to keep holding, hoping that the stock could go up at some point. and all that. But I think for now, this is how you should be doing. Yeah, okay, so let's start with our Nifty outlook as usual. So Nifty, we spoke about yesterday. We spoke about the levels of, so we spoke about if we come towards 1700 levels, or yeah, so that was, yeah. So yesterday, I'll just hide this part, right? So this was our yesterday's screen, right? So we said yesterday we kind of had a breakdown, a short term, we are down because we're forming high lows, and then we kind of had a close towards the day's low. So we said any levels, until it comes, until we don't cross this high, because this was a breakdown, and then we had a retest, right? We had multiple retests there, and then we kind of had a, so we said any levels, if we have any gap ups, or if the market rises back to 70,100 levels, so they said we could probably go short, right? But I'm just telling you why you shouldn't have, or you could have probably done that. It's up to you. But probably one of the reasons is you see this big morning. So we opened around 70,100. We had a big dip, and we kind of recovered all the way above, right? So you could have gone short as per our plan. You could have gone short probably in the first 5 minutes or first 15 minutes with a stop around 17,145, right? So that was a stop loss, and you would have been stopped out clearly, right? So if you see, it went sideways, and then if you see, we kind of formed this zone, right? So we kind of had a resistance. Now this resistance could have, when we kind of broke out from resistance, or if we had exited probably at 17,145, and you could have probably reversed your position and gone long with just a small stop at 10-15 point stop, right? And then probably you could have had this good trade, and if you're very aggressive, you could have stopped out here. But then again, a good trending day today. But yeah, it could have been a stop loss hit day, and then probably could have taken the other side. So if you're an intraday trader, especially, don't take more than 2 trades. Try to stick to just 2 trades. And if two of your trades is stop loss, just stop trading. There's always another day. And I think that's one of the things that I learned in the past when I used to trade. I used to trade a lot of times. I used to lose money. Over trading is one of the biggest problems in intraday, and that's also one of the reasons I don't have a, I wasn't having a full-time job, and I did not have the time. So some days my stop loss used to get hit, or I never used to forget to keep stop loss, and then the market would just tank, and I'd be losing a big amount by the time I come back and look at my screen. So if you are trading intraday, first of all, if you have a full-time job, stop trading intraday, switch to positional or swing trading. You're up around 10% in just 5 weeks is more than enough in a good market, right? And you'll always have some stocks which are going higher. If you do have the time, then do intraday. Otherwise, just don't do it. It's just not worth the effort, and you really need a very good skill set to trade intraday. It is just not so easy. Okay, so you need high skill sets. But anyways, yeah, again, the market has crossed all-time high again, and we made a new all-time high today, and we have closed really well. Again, the trend is clearly up, and I would not short until we know probably we go below 70,160 odd, because that's the very important support for now. So that level, so that's the important support. So probably tomorrow, if any dip towards 7190 can be bought, or even towards 7160 also can be bought probably. And this is going to be a short term. If you break this, probably going to go lower, because that was a time we had this nice range bound movement, and there was a nice support here, right? Now the other point that I would look at is also this level, right? So if we again also go below this level, now we should not go below this level. This is also a major support zone, because we kind of reversed from here, made a bottom, kind of made a bottom here, and then we reversed. So ideally, any dip towards this point, 7190 tomorrow, can be used as a level for going longs again if you want, or even this levels of 7160. But moment we or even till here, you can look for going longs. It's up to you how you want. But as usual, keep waiting for a lower high to form, and then higher low to form, and then go. So tomorrow, if we dip, probably if we come like this and we dip here, and then it needs to form a higher high, and then you should probably go long. Until that, don't go long. Or if you see a reversal candle in any of the support regions, then probably you can go long. But yeah, the trend is clearly up, and as I said, this was the first dip after this breakout, and that's why I also mentioned yesterday we should be cautious when we take our longs, right? But the trend is still very strong. It's still going up and up and up. Probably, I don't know where we'll top out. No one knows that. But for now, I think we just need to keep watching, right? So that's probably a channel also that you're looking at. So probably 70,300 levels where we might reverse again, and probably have a dip and then head higher, or just go sideways, right? So you never know. So that's the level you want to watch out. So that's the trend line you want to watch out, channel you want to watch out for. Okay. So now switching to the second part, which is our portfolio. I think I already discussed this. I've updated some stop losses. We'll discuss that. So LXCHEM stop loss remains around 430. So we are still above the channel. Today we formed a doji. So probably it's a pause in this rally. We're going to consolidate for a few days. But if 430 breaks, then we are out of this trade, and probably we'll jump to some other trade, and we can come back to this later again. Right. But if you just notice, so this trend line is probably acting as a strong support, right? So that's where it reversed from. If you see this touch point here and that point here, right? So we kind of had a inside bar, that was inside bar day. We had a move, and that trend line is still acting as a strong support, and probably we might come back all the way to 440 levels, and we might again head higher. So no one knows the future of this stock, but for now, if 430 is crossed and if you go below, we are out. Probably we might take another day or two and then reverse. Okay, so stop loss, there's no change. Fortis had seen a sell-off, so we did have a reversal yesterday, just at the fag end of the day. That was continued with a green candle, but then got sold off, and we're heading lower. So again here, 269 is our stop. If we go below 269, probably I'll be out, and then we'll consider this later again, right? So remember, we have already locked in some profits. So I think we have locked in. No, sorry, we're not locked in any profits. We still at 416 rupees loss. Okay, so that's the key support that I'm looking at. Okay, again, there's no update there. Now, this is what Cummins we spoke about. So yesterday we kind of broke out from here, and we kind of had a sideways move, right? Now, if you see, this was a nice pattern, right? So these kind of patterns, you should go ahead and probably add more. We added here once, and we added somewhere here once, right? We added twice, and we had a good position size on 22%. But then today morning we had a kind of so we closed yesterday at 1011, and we opened at 1010, and just we kept moving higher one way up. So this could have been a good trade even for futures if you want. If no, you could have traded this decently if you knew the support and resistance level very clearly, right? So what I've done today is I've trailed my stop now to this low around 990. So 994, if you see this swing low, right? So we went high, we came down, and then we went higher. So I've traded my stop loss now from 970 out to 990. Okay, so that's my new stop, 990. So now we have nothing to lose in the Cummins trade. It's in overall profits, right? And no loss, no profit. And also as per the current trade, this is the RR. You can see we've risked 1 rupee and how much we made. That's the RR. But Cummins, yeah, can continue higher. It can go much higher. Remember, the capital goods space is very strong, and this can probably head towards 1100 or even all-time high again, but might need some time before it heads there. You need to give it some time. So next is TATALXSI. Again, a good day. We kind of try to breach the previous high. So since we try to breach the previous high, I'm considering that as a positive sign. And yeah, if you see that last at around 215, we kind of had a spike. Even in the first half, first 15 minutes, we had a spike, right? Spike consolidation, spike consolidation. So probably tomorrow we're going to head higher. Fingers crossed. I'm not sure. But what I'm going to do is I am going to now trail my stop. Since we breached the previous high and we made a new high, I'm considering that as a first sign of buyers coming in, and I'm trailing my stop to 4700. So 4750. So I'm keeping 4700 as my stop, and we shouldn't ideally be going below that. Okay, so that's my new stop for TATALXSI. So 4700. So we're locking in 1.3% of our overall capital. Okay, again here we are around 2 of our risk reward. Okay, so that's the 4 stocks. So overall, now if you see, even if a stop loss is hit today, we are up 3.4 or 3.5%. So just remember, we started off with 1 lakh, we went down all the way to 96,000, and now we are back. And even if a stop loss hits, we are just going to lose. We're not going to lose anything. Basically, from here on, I think we shouldn't be going below 1 lakh unless we have a series of losing trades. But then our risk management would not let us go much below 1 lakh. Okay, so all good as of today, and I hope you're learning this concept of risk management. Just remember, it's not about how many trades you win, it's about how much you lose when you lose, right? So when you lose, you have to lose really small amounts and try to keep that in check, and the markets will reward you when the markets are good. Okay, so yeah, so that's it. Let's move on to the stocks. Okay, Naresh says Alcoa and Indiamart did pretty well for me today. Yes, that's really good. Indiamart, in fact, went up 8% or 7%, something odd. Now, if you remember, we spoke about Indiamart, right? Now, if you're already holding something, it's totally fine. But if you weren't holding, you should just go back and look at my threads on Indiamart in my Twitter channel, right? So if you see, this was a channel. I'm just going to close all of this. Yeah. So this was a channel that we started looking at, right? So we kind of had this channel breakout here. Then we went kind of retested the channel breakout, and then we went all the way high and we came down. Now I've been speaking about this at least for more than a month, and I kept telling that this is a very strong consolidation. All you had to do is keep a buy stop over 7,500, and today you'd be sitting in almost 9%, 10% profits, right? It is a good move. It's a strong breakout. A lot of people have been talking about it on Twitter today, but all you had to do was, it was very simple. You had to just keep a buy stop over 7,500 in case you're really interested in the stock. That would have really worked out, and you'd have been directly in profit. There is no loss. Even it didn't even come back to 7,500 again. The low was 7,580, right? So that's how you should be trading. Try to be in profits as quick as possible, and you can then ride the trend as much. So probably in this I have targets of probably all timers again. We're going to head to 10,000 odd. And if we keep the channel targets, I probably see that we might head to 13,000-14,000 as well. But that's not going to happen anytime soon. It might take its own sweet time. You need to be patient enough, and if you want to ride this trend, okay? So this is proper trend following after reversal. So if you're just exiting right now, that's more of a swing trade. But if you're kind of holding and riding it much higher, that's pure trend following. Okay, so good one, Naresh. All cargo also was a good one. Yeah, see, the trend is totally intact. There was no dip in the trend whatsoever, and yeah, it's kind of now breaking out of multi-year high, right? So this is a 6-year breakout. So all cargo can actually head much higher. All you need to do is have patience and let it go how much of it wants to, right? Amazing set of volumes in this entire mid cap and small cap panic sell off. We just had 3-day sell off, and then we kind of recovered completely, right? So a good time to add even now. A stop loss also can be 215 odd. That's just a 15 rupee stop, a very small stop if you're really aggressive. I would go, that's how I would trade. I would keep a stop at 215 and then take a trade at this point right now, right? So yeah, good one, Naresh, again. Darsh is asking me view on Ramkrishna Forging. Okay, let's look at it. Yeah, again, a good one, right? So we had a gap up here and it's just consolidating. Probably it should reverse in the next couple of days, but yeah, it looks amazing. Also, this seems to be in a long-term parallel channel. Let's just take a look at that. It might not be a perfect channel, but probably a long-term channel, right? So can head higher. It has just broken out of all-time highs, so just a few days more, probably consolidation around the all-time highs, and then it can head higher, right? So if you're holding this, then if your positional trade stop loss should be around 840. The moves have been good, so just wait for that move to repeat probably, and it can head higher from here. Okay. BSOFT Rishi, we already exited. The trend is still good, but we exited because that was only stock which is not moving, and I wanted to move to some other stock. So it's in a parallel channel still. There's nothing wrong here. It's just a exit because that was not performing and other stocks are performing, so I moved it there. Okay. Jake is saying last few days have been awesome. Asian Paints, Titan, Britannia rocking. Yes, actually many large cap stocks are really doing well. And surprised. It's not a surprise because and that's why one of the reasons I feel that Nifty might head much higher is because a lot of stocks from the large cap space are really doing well, and I don't see a reason why they can keep doing well, and we might see new highs in Nifty. So yeah, good if you're holding such stocks. But also remember, large cap stocks tend to consolidate for some time, so you need to be with them and you need to give them their time, and then they'll probably head higher. But until you see this higher lows intact, just continue holding them, and you can make some decent money. Okay. Jindal Saw Vyom is asking on Jindal Saw. Let's check it. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's right around that support. I think we already discussed this. It's just about a matter of time before it reverses. And on the weekly charts, if you see, the sell-off has completely stopped. Right, you see that demand, right? So again, there was a dip this week. Again, there's demand. So this is kind of inside bar. It's getting really tight. All you have to do is just keep a buy stop over 123 and keep a stop around 115 odd, and it'll just head higher. So also this seems to be closing near a multi-year breakout. So this is almost a 13-year breakout, and if we break out above 160, 170 or probably 180 levels, then probably you're going to head higher. But for now, I think, yeah, if you want to take fresh positions, buy above 123, which is this high, and keep a stop over 116, below 116 or 115. So that's 8 rupees stop. Could be a pretty good trade. Okay, Suven Pharma is just consolidating. In fact, I covered this in one of my newsletters. So we had covered it here when it broke out, and yeah, it's just consolidating. So this again is the same kind of an example, right? So if you see here, so this is also trend line support. Sorry, this one. Right, so probably we're heading towards this trend line support here around 480 odd. If you get 480 odd, you can consider buying it again. But remember these wicks over here, right? So it can just come all the way and test this low of the wick, and then it can head higher. If you have observed many stocks, that usually happens after a nice up move. If you have such kind of demand wicks, then probably stock is going to come all the way down and then head higher. Okay, so for now, if you want to add fresh positions, add probably above 565 odd levels. But otherwise, if you're holding already, just keep a stop around this one, because that's the previous swing low, right, around 450 odd, and that's the same stop loss I think I've given, and it's just dipping before it heads higher again. So Suven Pharma looks good as well. Mahesh is asking my view on Voltas. Yeah, it's moving up. So this was a trendline breakdown, but this was its normal consolidation. So that trendline doesn't make sense anymore. But if you see on the weekly charts, it just reversed right from that support zone. So it's a rectangle consolidation. All it needs to do is just break out above this consolidation, and then probably we are heading higher. Okay, so it's a good 5-6 months consolidation. Okay, so above 1124, you can see more moves high. Okay, NCC, Sandeep is asking NCC. Yeah, NCC again, see around that low levels, you see the demand wicks, right? So it's perfectly reversed again from this point. This is again a proper rectangle consolidation. It's just going. So simple strategy is buy at lows, and if you're doing swing trade, sell at highs, or if you're positional trading, then add above the breakout point over there, and then you can see fresh highs. Just switching to the monthly charts just to see. Yeah, so this is in a long-term consolidation, right? So even if it breaks out, probably it might face some resistance around 135 levels, but you need 135 to cross if you want really a good trend here. Okay, so that's my take on NCC. Probably there is this trend line as well. Yeah, so it's facing resistance around the trend line and around that previous. So the first attempt to break out was here. The second attempt is here, but that horizontal line, once it breaks out, that's probably a very good breakout. So once it crosses 100, then it's a very good breakout, I'd say, because this is a 4 years downtrend. It's probably an inverted head and shoulders breakout as well, right? So if it crosses above 95, but remember the stop loss should be around 69. So this is a very good trade right now if you want to take. Could be stop loss 69, and you can take a trade right now if you want. Okay, what's your view on Power Grid and MDC? She is asking. So Power Grid is right around the trend line support. I just had a look at it today. Right, so if you see, Power Grid is right around the trend line support, and it's just about time before it heads higher. So on the linear chart, if you see, that's a perfect trend line retest. It's kind of reversing from the trend line support. It's just a matter of time before it heads higher. So probably around 178, it can have a good move up. Okay, so that's my view. NMDC. Yeah, NMDC in a strong downtrend, right? But remember, there's a major support zone here. So this was a previous, right? So that was the last swing before it broke out. That's if you go to daily charts, you'll see that much better. So that was the last swing breakout, right? And it's kind of done a complete retest. Now this happens in many stocks. That's why I try to get out here, right? So if this, I don't want to give away all my profits, and that's why I kind of get out below this low, the swing low there. So you could also save some time and some capital of yours, right? So this is just going sideways. So probably about 160 odd can pick up space, but right now it's in a very short term downtrend. Okay, also from a trend line perspective, probably I'd wait for that downtrend to break out, right? So it can go sideways for some more time, and then you can probably look at it once it breaks out. So if you see, trend line is also not really supporting here. Yeah, so there's no valid trend line also. So I'll just wait for this probably to cross 160 odd, and then probably I'll take, or if you want to be really conservative, then I'd take up only on when it breaks out this trend line. Okay, so until then, a strict avoid. Deba Prata is asking Mahindra holidays. Yeah, it's a nice base breakout. I think this had a amazing breakout recently, I think. So if you see, I've drawn this trend line here. It had an inverted head and shoulders breakout, and since 250 odd, it's just been going higher. So it's just a consolidation last many weeks. Now again, you see here this wicks, right? So whenever you see this wicks and you see a move like this, that's a definite buy. Just keep a blind buy stop about this, a stop loss around that point, and just keep riding the trend. So also if you see the previous candles, it has been amazing green candles, not a single sharp big red candle. Otherwise, entire trend has been like small red candles, right, in the weekly charts, and volumes have been amazing. The volumes are again picking up, and this could be a good bet with just a 10% stop loss. Okay, so 290 is a stop. You can buy at current market price, and it can head much higher. Also, I think the if it crosses about 380 odd levels, then that could be all-time high breakout, or even needs to cross around 400 levels. Okay, so that's my view. Darshan is asking, can you share trading journey? Definitely someday. I think I've already done it in one of the videos, but I'll do that. Kumulagiri, Kolte Patel entry levels. I think by now you also can tell me, right? That's a very clear, beautiful trend line reversal. Like these are setups I love, right? And that's a beautiful inverted head and shoulders. It's very clear. Your buy entry point is very, very clear. All you have to do is keep a GTT. If you have money, keep a GTT about 284, 85, and then you just ride the trend. Initial target is around 400, but it can go much higher. But that's a nice inverted head and shoulders pattern. Volumes have been amazing. The base has been set. It just has to complete here and break out above. Okay. You can probably, if you want to enter now, you can also enter now. It's up to you, but it might go here and come back again. So I'd say keep a buy stop above 285, and then let it wherever that wants to go, it can go. Okay, Suhas is saying Newgen is trading in a nice tight zone. Let's look at it. Yeah, it's excellent setup, Suhas. So after this major move, this is the first dip, and the first dips usually are bought. And if you see in this entire move, in fact, this is the first major red candle which has formed, right? But in this last 4 weeks, if you see, it's inside bars, right? Now, it's not a perfect inside bar, but they're kind of contracting. The range is completely contracting. Now, if you want to just look at the trend, just apply the EMA filter, EMA indicators I have, and you'll see how beautifully it is respecting the 50-day EMA, and all the moving averages are kind of contracting. Now, if you've been in markets for some time, you will not need the indicators, but every time you see that happens, it gives a good move, right? And then we had this nice move here. So I'll remove the indicators so that we don't get confused. But otherwise, always, as I always say, look at the monthly charts first. There was a sell-off. We're kind of having a stop in that move last 2 months. And then if you go to the weekly charts, you'll see green candles. Let me bring up the volumes. Right. So we had good green candles here, volumes, and then this is the first week. First green candle, then followed by red, followed by green. So that pause, the selling is kind of pausing. So the fall is kind of completely stagnated, right? And last 3 weeks has been good. Volumes have completely dried up, and it's a good setup. All you need to do is, keep a buy stop above this point, above 600, above the red candle, right? 600, keep a buy stop, and stop is just 550. So 10% stop, and probably you can look for 750 odd levels again, and even higher. Okay. So that's my take on Newgen. Okay, international conveyors, Sagar is asking. I'm not getting stock name. Yeah, got it. Sorry. Yeah, again, this is a rounding base. So this was a complete shakeout this day. It's a rounding base. Probably it's heading higher. Just keep a stop above today's high. So this should be a reference point for your next buy, right? So just keep a stop above this high, which is 72, or here also. The volumes have been good today. But again, it's a very liquid stock, right? So if you look at the volumes on a 70 rupee share, just 600,000 shares were traded. So yeah, the setup looks good, but it's just a liquid stock. Okay. How to find stocks for swing trading? I don't do swing trading, Rishi, but the process applies the same. Swing trading, just keep a target of 1:2, 1:3 and get out. That's all. There's no separate thing that I have. Parvesh, I had given my views on this one yesterday, Happiest Minds. It has given a breakout today, a good breakout, and we discussed this yesterday. So you just need to have a buy stop above that, right? So buy stop above 1475 and your buy stop would have been triggered. You can keep an even tight stop around 1400 or a stop even around 1350 levels, right? So the trend is back up, but it just needs to cross again the all-time highs and then we can see new highs. But the volume has been good and the stock looks good as well. Okay. Jindal Steel, I've given my views. Masood is asking for LTI. LTI is in a strong uptrend. There's nothing here. This was a nice breakout and we've just been in a strong uptrend. So nothing much there. But yeah, the stock is in a good trend, so continue to hold it. You know, asking, should RR go below 1 for Fortis? Where is stop loss hits, will incur loss. Yeah, Fortis will incur a loss if we incur a loss of around 460 rupees, 416 rupees if it hits a stop loss. So, and this RR is based on an initial buy price, right? So initially when we bought at 245, our entry price was 261, right? So based on that we calculate RR, because when you first take the entry, what is the initial risk deploy in the market, and after that what we do, we deploy additional risk, probably from same stock or from somewhere else, right? So I don't usually take the RR here. So even though you see in loss, but as of current market price, it is in 1 RR. So if a stop loss hits, probably this will go down a bit. But usually if you add more to your stock, then RR might be a little different. But that's how I do it. It's completely up to you how you want to do it. There are different ways to calculate your RR, right? So yeah, but right now, if a stop loss hits, RR might not be 1, it might be a little less than 1 probably. Okay. So next is Aravind Fashion, Delta Corp, Century Cast tips. As I'd suggest, if you ask, just one stock, or maximum 2 stocks per person. There's too many stocks. It's already 11:33. A bit tired as well. So Aravind Fashion, let's look at it. Or you can tag me on Twitter and we can answer them as well. But let's go through them. So again, a massive move, and it's just a dip after that move up, right? So the trend has completely turned from downtrend to an uptrend. So that's a beautiful consolidation here and a breakout, right? So from 192 we've gone all the way up. It's just a normal dip, that's it. So no worries. 185 is a stop. You can keep holding it. Okay, Delta Corp was good today. The move can continue. It has broken out from a nice consolidation again. So you just need to wait for some more time. It can give much higher returns. Again, right, if you see the weekly charts, that's a nice breakout. And this is the first breakout after that here, right? So probably this is the start of a new beginning for Delta Corp, and you can see much higher levels. So probably so we've crossed a very major resistance now. So probably next target's 270, and then probably we can see even 385. Okay, so that's for entire thing. The stop loss should be around 160 for now, and then you can see how you want to take it. Okay, but right now that's a beautiful pattern breakout, cup, and not a perfect handle, yeah, but a cup and handle breakout. Okay. Century Inca also looks good. I saw that today as well. Right, so it has broken out again from the downtrend. I think there is some, yeah, so that's the channel, a long-term channel. We have broken out from all-time high, and then now we are heading higher again, right? Again, if you look at the last weekly chart, you will see that demand wick, right? So it didn't close below this low. So again, a good reversal, and this week it's just following up on that. Tips also looks good. Tips has been in a very strong uptrend. It is just a sideways consolidation, probably a trend line retest, right? And it's probably heading higher, right? So yeah, not a perfect trend line, but yeah. Again, last week, if you see, we had a nice hammer candle, and then again we're probably heading higher. Okay, so again, your stop loss for entire position can be 970. Previously stop loss was here, then we had move down, and now your stop loss can be the previous swing low around 980 odd. Okay, so that's my view. KPIT and Signity, I think the entire IT space is good. There's nothing much there happening, nothing bad happening there. So again, KPIT is just a breakout retest, and it probably can head higher, just taking some time. So your stop loss can be around 300. If you're an investor, then your stop loss should be around 270 odd. Okay, Signity, it has been in a strong downtrend after that swing low breakdown, right? But again, probably it's picking up pace. Again, if you see this candle here, right? So that was demand week. See, all the way it came down, it didn't close below that low, and again it is reversing. Okay, that's why I say these kind of wicks, not every time that will happen, but sometimes that doesn't happen. And if you see a reversal, then you go for that trade. Now here you don't see a reversal yet, right? Again, here you don't see a reversal, but here you're seeing a lot of green candles. The trend line has kind of broken out, right? And yeah, the stock is looking good to head higher from here. Okay, Security also is good. Next is Happiest Minds, for which already given. Can you consider including some trading concepts for learning a daily life session for a few minutes at least? I think I'm covering it in the stocks, Dinesh, so I think that's more than enough. I will make separate videos probably, but yeah, I think I've covered all of the trading concepts already. There's nothing much left, I think. How to manage IEX after such an explosive run? Still no signs of weakness or even a pause, or too heated to consider pyramiding? I'm thinking trail stop loss around 50. No, Naresh. So that's what. So this is the confusion which happens. Sorry, I'm typing Naresh. So this is the confusion which happens, right? Now our stock, after moving so much, so people tend to kind of protect their profits. It's totally fine if you want to do it. Probably go to the hourly time frame and do it. But also remember, like probably if I was trading a positional trading, then I'd have had my stop loss around 490 odd, or probably even as tight as 550 to 550 odd, right? But it depends on what kind of trend you want to catch. Do you want to catch the short-term trends like this, or you want to exit here somewhere just because the short-term trend line broke down, right? Or do you want to catch the complete move, right? So the difference is here your time and capital is idle, right? So you can opportunity cost is a little higher, but then you catch the bigger move, you have basically you have much peaceful trading experience in such kind of trend following systems. But in these kind of trades, tomorrow if it goes up on a 10%, then you might probably regret. So if you're clear in your objective, then go ahead. I don't have a problem, but just be clear in what you're trading, right? And how much risk what you're making and how much is it increasing your overall portfolio. Now if you're booking a profit of, let's say, just 1% after this massive move and your portfolio is going up by 1%, doesn't really make sense. So I hope you're in a good position. If you did have, then yeah, go ahead and book profits if you want, but understand what is your objective, understand what is your strength, and do that. Okay, Monal is asking on Explio. Explio is just after this massive move is consolidating. It is forming lower high, lower lows, but I think it can probably reverse. I'll just look at the weekly charts. Yeah, you see that candle there, right? So it's kind of consolidating around that zone. So just keep a stop around 960 odd, and it can probably head higher again. Okay, and it is not getting ready for breakout yet. It needs to make a higher high, probably then it can have a breakout. All right, so I probably waited for it to close around 11:30, and then I can say probably it has given a breakout. Okay, this is a trendline breakout, but remember, trendline breakout doesn't mean that the stock will directly go up, because the previous higher high and the lower high can act as a resistance. That's what exactly happening now, right? So just because the trendline breakout happens, you need to wait for the previous swing high also to break out, and then you can consider it as a good breakout. Masood, I've given my pyramiding view on IEX. I would not pyramid at this point. I wait for a consolidation. Harish, Grieve Cottons and Gabriel. Okay. Probably there's another trend line. Right. So that's a trend line reversal from there, right, on the linear scale. That's a very major support, and we've kind of made a reversal. I think it can head higher again. So just keep a stop, around this previous swing low, and then let's see if it crosses a high. Okay, and also here again, if you see, we that's a massive, strong, very good support zone, right? And again, this month it has reversed from the same levels, right? So that's how you have to look at charts. You have to look at multiple time frames and then understand what's happening to the stock, right? So it's a good reversal till now. Entire stop can be 125 and probably expect highs again. Okay, Gabriel. Yeah, Gabriel looks like trendline reversal, right? So it's kind of just about to reverse, but yeah, just been going sideways since the month of July. Since last 1 month, it's just been going sideways here. So it needs some momentum. There is no momentum. There's a lack of some momentum here, but that's an inverted head and shoulders breakout. It just probably retesting like how how Rain Industries did after a breakout. It just kept going sideways for some time, and then then it moved higher. So just give it some more time. Probably this is headed higher. The structure looks good. The volumes are there. Everything looks good. It just probably needs a couple of weeks more to head higher. But yeah, it's a nice inward head and shoulders breakout as well. Okay. Hindalco is, I think today, I'm not sure, I forgot what happened today. Yeah, it's kind of had a breakout here, right? It's a trendline breakout, but it's just facing resistance around the previous highs. So above the previous highs, probably can head higher. But from a metal sector itself is kind of consolidating. I think there is some sell-off. We spoke about this gap fill and sell-off. So if it crosses again 5737, then probably it's a good setup. Okay, that's my view. Tin plate again is good. Tin plate had a nice breakout today, but it's already 20% up. Now today, if you're going to add a fresh position now, then and probably tomorrow, let's say it comes down back 10%, then you're going to lose money. So that's why I always say you had to keep your buy order if you wanted really interested. Just keep a buy order above the previous swing high. You could have probably had a good trade by now, right? Or buy on pullbacks. Buy pullbacks to the previous swing highs or previous trend line break. So this was a nice, it came right towards the trend line, right? And then it went higher again. So I would not buy this at this point because it's very high risk that the stock might come down. For me, risk is very important. So I would not really chase breakouts. And that you will also not do that if you gain experience. You will not understand why you should not be buying a stock after it's up 20%. Probably wait for some time and then you can buy more, add more or buy fresh. Okay, Adarsh, Coforge and LTTS. LTTS, I think already I had given my views. Coforge, yeah, I think there was a sell-off which is happening at the highs. There's this nice sell-off which is happening. It just needs to that sell-off needs to gets absorbed. All right. So probably a few more days. I don't know when it will move up. But yeah, for the entire position, keep a stop around 46.50 if you're a short-term positional trader. Okay. Is VIP facing resistance at... We just entered VIP. Why are you already looking at resistance at 490? It's not required. Don't get into such analysis. You will have bias and you'll sell off. This is short-term consolidation after the breakout. Until it doesn't go back below the breakout zone, you should not be really worried. Don't look at such. Look at this as an opportunity and then add more above 490, right? So add more above 400, right? So 500 was a high, add above 500, add more, and then trail your stop loss for enter position 435. Look at that and don't look at resistances when a stock is an uptrend. You will have bias and you will sell it off. Okay, how to scan VC pattern stocks? I don't have a scanner. I do it manually. I have only scanner, CCI above 100. Okay, Utkarsh is asking ACE. ACE is again, had this move, probably heading higher again. Looks good. The trend is awesome. In fact, I had a very good trade recently around this trend line, right? So there was this nice trend line reversal around here. I had taken this trade, but I kind of got out when it kind of broke this level here, right? But again, it's a good reversal. The trend line again reversed from the trend line. It's a beautiful setup. You can go ahead with this, Utkarsh. So Jake is asking which one stock would you recommend for 3-4 month buy? I have no idea, Jake, to be honest. But it depends. So if you already want one of the stocks is probably United Spirits. It's looking good. Nestle is looking good. There are a lot of other stocks. You can go to the scanner, just run the CCI weekly scanner, and you'll find many of them. And yeah, many might do well, like TATALXSI, Cummins. These all could do well in the short term, or even ACE, right? So ACE just needs to kind of go back above that zone, and probably head higher, or something like a Cabra extrusion. Right? There are many stocks. I'm not sure whether 4-5 months it will work out, But all I know is these stocks are on a good uptrend. It might give you decent profits, but it depends on how you pyramid those positions, how you add on to your winners, right? That's what will be helpful. Okay. So Harish, I hope I can make this video this weekend. I'm not sure, but if I do make the weekend with the video, I will let you know. But this is in the top priority in my backlog, and yeah, it's just been a busy couple of weeks with work. Otherwise, I'm definitely going to make that video soon. Okay, so I hope, yeah, I think we're done with all of the questions. I've answered every day. I keep answering everyone's questions. So all I ask in return is share this video with your friends. Just send a message to your friends saying, I found this guy who's been doing really good analysis on stocks, and you might want to check it out. Just send this message to your friends and colleagues, your families. Just drop it in their group, and even if a couple of them look and they come back to our channel, then probably they might subscribe to the channel and they might join us as well. Harish, the PE video, you should watch the video I posted last week. I discussed about Nestle, and in the Nestle stock, I've discussed about why high PE stocks are not always not a bad buy, right? Sometimes high PE stocks are worth buying if you understand why they are high PE. So go back and check that. Okay. So yes, go back, and if you really found this helpful, just type a message this night or tomorrow or this weekend and just share it with your friends and ask them to subscribe to our channel. We've been around 30 people who have joined us regularly, but I want this number to really increase. Probably let's have, target around 50 people next, and then we can, go higher numbers. So I hope you'll do this, and don't forget to like the video before you drop. And yeah, I hope India plays well tomorrow and gets the remaining 7 wickets. And I'll see you tomorrow. And I hope tomorrow markets also do well. Okay, thank you. Trade safe and stay safe. And I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you and bye.